Live marking is something I've been working on this year because it's that immediate feedback that tends to make the best progress, rather than taking in books, giving back feedback maybe 2-3 lessons later and then going back to old work. That sort of live feedback can be applied in the moment on the same task, but also it's there physically to be referred back to in later lessons as well. Cuts down teacher workloads, taking in work, and frees up a lot of other time to do other things. Live feedback is the end product of a number of things that you have to work on to get there. The scaffolded lessons, giving models, working on models together, and then students independently working on a question or on an activity. You can observe the room, sort of see who is struggling a little bit, go to them first, and then circulate the room based on what you have observed, any data you've got from previous lessons. If you know these people are doing really well, I might leave them a little bit later to then stretch. These people struggled last time, and it's just trying to get around, getting that marking in, and then seeing if they've responded to it. The convention that I use a lot is a big margin in their work. So the margin is really good to just write notes in. It's good for them, for students and me to write, or you've zoomed in on a key word there so they can see it explicitly where it relates in the text. Those big margins with that marking in, that thought process, is where the skills tie in later for when students feedback even more. It's just writing normally in black. I'm marking in my purple pen, and if I've seen something good in that margin, I'll just write zoom, tick, and put it next to the line where they've done it so they can see it clearly. If something is missing off of the criteria, I'll just put a target, and after a bit of discussion, could you expand on that point? Students just respond in the moment. For live feedback to work, I spend a lot of time looking at metacognition and under the visualisers showing how to use previous work. After a previous lesson, we had looked at a question, done lots of discussion, lots of students planning, and we had done a little bit of modelled writing with metacognition. How are we going to use yesterday's lesson for help whilst we are independently working? Before that, the week before, we did a full modelled essay, so we looked at that essay as well, looked at how we could use that model and that planning feeding back. So on the board, we then put together sort of resilience slide of all the dates where we have produced work, independent work or modelled work, that they can use in that lesson. So building on everything we've done this half term. On the 10th, you've got that dated, you've got it in the front of your book. We have got our thought plan, 4-1-swing-1 to the grill, which is the second part of that first paragraph. Actively, I tell students that's the help before I get there. Because if students are putting their hand up and asking for help, a lot of those conversations, even though they are purposeful, students then write in their books the feedback, and when they come back to looking at that work, they don't see the thought process. So it's all about having students working hard, and then anything that is live marked, if it's slightly wrong or it can be improved, they can look at that next time and look at the thought process and apply that further.